Anime, Japanime, whatever you decide to call it, Japanese animation has seeped its way into a plethora of media throughout our time and has become one of the largest sections of just entertainment globally. It's no surprise that anime TTRPGs are a massive submarket of people wanting to play their favorite shows, which is a really nice way of saying that they want the bargain basement shonen slop or seasonal garbage that crops up. Valor RPG, released in 2014 but reprinted not too long ago, is one of those RPGs seeking to emulate your favorite shonen slop genres of anime, by Valorous Games of course, who do Valor RPG. But what is the game? What this game isn't is specific. This is a toolbox RPG about living out your very own custom Bleach, One Piece, My Hero Academia, or Black Clover, I think that's what it's called, or whatever else is out there for you to enjoy. These games are always a little bit complicated to talk about, because what can you talk about? My conclusive argument for this entire video is going to be you're going to get as much out of this game as you put into it. Nothing more, nothing less. But let's learn what we're actually doing. Valor's entire system is 1d10 plus an active attribute. That's it. The gimmick is that almost all actions you're going to be doing are opposed. You want to punch someone, you're making an opposed roll. You want to lift something heavy, you're making an opposed roll. You want to do something, you're opposing something else. The entire game is almost exclusively based around combat, however, with challenge scenes using a meter to judge if you're doing well or very, very poorly. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, we'll need a character. Thus, we'll be making our cool shonen protagonist, Hideo Kojima. You'll have 25 points to distribute among your basic attributes, with extremes and averages being, well, here. The secret is that extreme characters are actually more punished than rewarded. This is due to active attributes and how they work. These base attributes are not your real attributes. You'll take your level plus your base attribute and divide them by 2 to get your active attribute. You see what the problem is of a monumental difference between having an 8 versus a 4. But now we get into the stats. Most are pretty simple: strength, agility, spirit, mind, and guts. First 4 are pretty easy to get, but guts is unique because you can't actually attack with it. Strength, agility, spirit, and mind are further subcalculated into an attack by taking your base attribute and level and multiplying it by 2. This is actually how much damage you're going to be doing with these. Hideo Kojima is a pretty smart guy, so he has a base mind of 8, an active intuition of 5, and a mind attack of 18. He's using the power of being a smarty pants to blow your penis off. All of these attributes are then used to calculate your defense and resistance, your damage reduction, your movement speed, health, stamina, and everything else. These can be pretty large though, with health sometimes in the hundreds with the right build, especially if you're guts maxing. Kojima's base health is 135, with stamina acting as your magic / willpower points, defaulting at 38 for him. Both health and stamina will also have increments, which increase both health and stamina by a set amount at the end of the scene to keep things flowing. Characters aren't too complicated yet, but now we're going to get into skills and techniques. Skills can best be described as half perk, half active ability. You can use to get benefits, and you can also use these as flaws. At best, flaws are things like berserker or uncoordinated. At worst, they are malevolent entity which the GM has a free way to fuck with you. Positive skills are usually flat bonuses to interesting, valuable aspects. More defense, more resistance, better speed, a shit ton more health, or even just get more stat points. With 20 points, these aren't actually very difficult to abuse early on. Other skills can be also incredibly important and broken, allowing you to jump across buildings or just counterattack. Skills are cool though. They're flavorful, you kind of get what you want, but most are going to be locked behind reaching season 2 of a campaign after a few levels, rather than having a swath of abilities early on. Techniques are odd though. Each one is built from a core and modified from there. You can create a damage core and make it a line attack or have multiple targets. These apply to every kind of technique you can make as well. You start with only 12 TP or technique points to play around with, so it's not impossible to create a few bread and butter abilities early on and develop from there, but you will be getting a lot more of these. And that's a majority of making a character. But combat's the name of the game, so what's it's all about. Taking place on a pretty strict grid, you'll be rolling for your attack, and if you hit, you deal damage. damage based on your attack that you can augment with skills. You can also avoid damage with opposed rolls with the same attribute, or sub it out with a unique method based on whatever skill you're using, some of which are far more amusing than others to do and can very easily break the game. With health being as high as it is and how easy it is to boost it up, you're almost always encouraged to pump damage and health up, which also leads to a weird arms race. Due to how all enemies have to be created using this same system, the GM has to be pretty vigilant to not instantly give it. It is, the more bonuses you get, you can spend it to perform an overdrive to get big bonuses or do a super attack and stuff. Is Valor good? As I said earlier, you're going to get as much out of this game as you put into it. If you sit down with your players and hash out the details and ideas, see what's correct, what's wrong, and everything in between, it's going to be fun for everyone. If you don't do that, it's not going to. But any game can be fun with friends, and Valor is just a toolbox without any part to make it really jump out. My name is Notepad Anon, and this was the Valor RPG. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Many thanks to the members of the Hidden Kino Village for their continued support. Godspeed and good luck.